Hello, puzzling human people, and welcome to Q.U.B.E, but now with the sequel thing right there, a sequel symbol, a 2, you could say. Welcome to Q.U.B.E 2, this time with more story. Story part of the main game now. Can't skip the story. Or rather, I think you can skip the cutscenes, but the story is part of the main game, no matter what. Oh look, I can move around, and there are cubes! How mysteriously strange of you to put mysterious cubes here. Looks like we have an omega structure. As in just like a super huge structure. But it's made of cubes. It's all cubular. Hello, move. Move, person.
Anyone? Help me.
Where are we? Who are we? Why are we? When are we? Perhaps we're part of an expedition team. An expedition to figure out what's happening. An expedition 33, if you will. And now it seems we're being dragged, perhaps into the cube, to solve puzzles for an unknown purpose. I think this game came out in 2018, which was like 5 years, 6 years, 7 years after the original. Something like that.
Hello? This is Dr. Amelia Cross. I'm picking up your signal. I repeat,
A woman?
I'm reading you clearly.
No way!
I don't know what's happened, but I need help.
Try and remain calm. Your systems are slightly damaged. I can't identify what your rank was either. Looks like you're suffering from cryogenic-induced amnesia.
My rank was Doctor Lady.
What are you talking about?
Doctor, comma, lady.
Tasked with destroying the cube. Damn. The escape pods must have brought us both back to the origin planet. That life suit you're wearing, you can manipulate the cubic structures with it. We used the same design to destroy an extraterrestrial object that was on a collision course with Earth. You may not remember, but if you listen to me and do as I say, we may actually make it back home. Do you understand me?
I don't know what the hell is going on, but just tell me what I need to do.
Okay.
So they used this suit to destroy the cube structure from Cube 1, pretty much.
Your signal is weak because of this blasted sandstorm. I can't log on to you. That beacon is above the storm. If you can just make it there, you should be clear. If you rendezvous with any other survivors, I should be able to use my teleporter to extract us all and get home.
Right. Okay. I think I can do that.
Here you have dialogue hallways, aka long hallways meant to make you listen to all the dialogue. Oh look, we're all...
Use the gloves you are wearing to change the structure around you.
You don't have to stop the gameplay to show me that.
Try placing one on any white cubes that have a frame using your left glove.
But
Then
oh
stand
look,
on it.
we have the place feature already, and it's not on the E button. It's not on the E button? You're telling me you could have done this the whole time? This game came out before the Q.U.B.E 1 remake.
Expecting that.
You better get used
They could have just ported over these mechanics to the Q.U.B.E 1 remake. What were they doing?
to the storm. Keep moving upwards. Contact me if you find anything strange.
Why did they change the good controls to bad controls for the Q.U.B.E 1 remake?
Can you hear me?
Stinking people.
God, what have I got myself into?
I guess they wanted to make it feel like it was an evolution between games, but that's not what it feels like. It feels like they got lazy. Looks like you have to pull that all the way out or something like that. Because it goes all the way whenever I click it, instead of just going one cube out. And like one cube at a time, it's all cubes all the time. Very simple puzzle solving, but this is sort of showing that you can only have one of these blues activated at a time.
Emma, I've
Oh look, it's a
found
big
something.
rectangle, not cube, but rectangle. Left mouse button. And then it just cuts away to a cutscene. Fantastic. And that's not going where it's supposed to. Thanks. Thanks, animations.
Recommended action. Place red cube on white panel.
What the?
Red cube.
Why would these be here?
So now we can have multiple cube types. All at the same time. Huzzah for technological improvements that somehow did not make it into the remake. I'm gonna keep harping on about that forever. And ever. And ever. How do you have a more advanced sequel, but then you don't put those advancements in the remake of the first game that came out after the sequel? Stinking video games and their development. You see these elevators? These were reused for the sequel. Why not the controls? I know that game development takes a while, but you could have cut down on the time if you just reused some of this stuff. Hello? For some reason, activate is only on right-click this time around, so that's weird. It's kind of like the perfect version of these games that lies somewhere between all these games, in the couch cushions where you find your pennies. Ta-da! Puzzles solved. There's not much to say about these puzzles because they're incredibly basic. Anyone could figure this out. Even you, ha ha ha. Even me. Even we together. But not together. I'm the one playing.
Reading you loud and clear.
How are you doing?
Making progress.
The door could have been over there, but no, we have to have a dialogue hallway.
Listen, I wanted to ask, what do you remember before waking up?
I don't. Not really. I think I was heading towards a job, a dig site in Scotland. I was in a helicopter with my team.
And you don't remember what happened?
No, I don't. Are you interrogating me, Emma? Because it sure as hell feels like it. Emma?
You know,
God damn it, this stupid thing. Let's continue.
You know, Portal just has the dialogue play while you're in the puzzle chambers. They could have learned something from Portal. But, like, right at the end, the dialogue started to play while in the puzzle chamber. So it's like they almost got it right. Know what I mean? Know what I mean, Mr. Jellybean? Or is it Mrs. Jellybean? What kind of human being are you? Are you a jelly bean? A spicy bean? A pinto bean? Or perhaps a bean in a pod? Chapter 3 already. I think there are like 16 chapters or something.
Another type.
Yes, more type. Green type.
Interesting.
Phenotype
It's like
even.
the structure itself can duplicate and grow.
What was that? What did you say, lady? Miss Lady Doctor who I am? Thanks for the physics. Physics person. Physics universe. Where the physics spawned. Where do physics spawn? There's a question for you, and not for me. So obviously put a cube there. And then you do something with it. You put it there and then you do something with it. Of course. You do that, and you do that, and that. So it lands on there. And then it falls, of course. And then you have to redo everything. Take it back, Jack. Do it again. That's a song. It's a song, I say. Or is it a song I sing? Is it a song I sing, I say? These are walls, it seems, not just things to walk through. There's those doors. Those big, huge doors. Huge, big doors, you could say even. You could even say. You could say even, or you could even say. Probably a bit of both. And then you have a bit of that. And a bit of that, but only on there. Only on there. And then it goes over. And then we climb up with our blue boogaloo. You know, like that one movie about the deadly slime that killed everyone. Electric Boogaloo. It was the Blob, I think. Oh look, real nature, real outside nature, which means we're outside, right? That means we're outside and not still in the super mega structure. But oh no, it's inside nature. How could it possibly be? How could we be fooled so hardly?
The storm has cleared up and, well, there's life here. There's water and plants.
That's unexpected.
This doesn't look accidental either. The structure of the space, the organization of it, it looks purposeful. It reminds me of my husband.
But what purposeful?
Oh,
For what
yeah.
purpose
He works with plants.
is it for?
You should move on, Millie, before another storm comes.
Agreed. Speak soon.
Perhaps the Omega super cubic structure knows what you are. Mrs. Doctor Lady Person, who I am. Perhaps it is thinking with you instead of you thinking with Cube. The Cube is thinking with you. Lost in transmission, but how do we get lost? And what is a transmission? That is a joke. Do not answer. Do not answer for me. And yeah, that animation is not lined up correctly. I don't know why. It's supposed to, the hand is supposed to go in there. Silly game.
Enabled. Recommended action. Place green cube on
Green cube. Bip bop. Bip pop 2 even. But why no bip bop 3? That's the real question. So, this is a 3-part solution, it seems. Blue, green, and red. And you do all that together to get up there. I just solved that in my brain that quickly. I had completely forgotten that puzzle chamber. Also, I have not beaten this game. I have never beaten this game until now. This will be the time that I beat it. But first we've got to get up here. So red. No. Uh-huh. And then we can't put another red because that would make us dead. Dead red. But we need to get all the way up there. So how do we get up there? That's the question. That sure is the question. But what is the answer? Perhaps put red over there instead, and then green there. So then we can just put green over here, and do that. Ta-da! Your puzzle is solved. Basic tutorial section of the game. How do you feel now for being so basic?
Millie, I've been monitoring your position. Your suit readings show that you've gained quite a bit of altitude.
More talking hallways and
Not quite.
guardrail hallways so I can't die.
Paths should lead to a central core. If you get there,
Because they didn't make a death animation.
How do you know all of this?
we trained for a long time, Millie.
So what do you think these structures are?
Well, we know they have internal machinations and seem to perform tasks with no need for external input. A cybernetic system of sorts, reacting and adapting. The gloves were built to change that, or at least divert its functions temporarily.
But what's their purpose?
All I know is that we had to stop that vessel from colliding with Earth. The structure you're in, God knows what they're used for. Anyway, let's focus on finding that beacon as soon as possible.
So we create green, and then we somehow launch it from there to there to there. So that means that green has to be there, so that it can be launched all the way up to there. Ta-da! And puzzling! What a puzzling puzzle that I puzzled out. That was like the first one that required brain matter to solve, except for the last one. That one also required a tiny bit of brain matter. Middle button to delete cube. So now's when it starts getting slightly more complexicatable. More complexicated. Yeah. That could be a word if you wanted it to be. And I just might want it to be. So we delete it. And then ta-da! Instead of making it go back into the wall, we delete it. Because that gets the job done. But now how do we get it all the way up here? Because, oh, we can jump on that. So maybe we can just, like, bug it out. Or rather, intentional game design it out. You could say. Here's... I'm not sure if it would actually get it up here, but you could, like, push it against that wall, and then right at the last second replace it with a blue. Which is what I'm gonna try to do. Doesn't mean that I'll succeed at it, but at least I'll try. Nope. Doesn't do anything for us, at least for me. Let me up there. Let me up there. Nope. That is not the intended solution. But what is? How do get cube over here? Surely there has to be some sort of simpler solution to it, or something. We have red, we have green, we have blue. All the colors of the color wheel combined. What if we just need to bounce high enough and then replace that? That might be it. We cannot get a green cube on top of... Oh, wait. I just thought of the solution. Just put a green cube there. Haha! Sometimes the easiest solution is the best one. That's what Portal 2 taught me. And I really should have learned that lesson back then. Should have learned it the first time I played Portal 2. And also the first time I watched someone play Portal 2. Oh look, it is a man with the cube on his back. What could it mean? What lore could it mean?
Take me.
Take me.
My heart beats. But I want it to beat for you. I want to become one. She said we would become one. Don't leave me on my own. Not without her.
Okay.
Emma,
What? What is it?
I think it's human, or was. Now I don't know what it is. A statue. And it was saying something. No, not saying. A radio transmission of sorts. I don't know, this is messed up.
Millie, whatever it was, it just means we need to find the location of that signal as soon as possible. Okay? Then we can find a place to rendezvous.
Yeah, I understand. I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. Let's just keep going, okay?
I wonder what it could all mean in the end. I think it's just trying to mimic human things, and it's doing it awkwardly, and that the horror part of this game is not that horrific in the end, probably. Because it is trying to be like a horror thing. Did it spook you? It did not spook me.
Emma,
Those TVs are from,
into a large chamber.
I guess, this
Can you
game, but
tell
they're
me
in
how
the
far I am
Sector
from the
8.
beacon?
Your altitude shows that you're about halfway there.
There's a strange
Whoa,
machine here. I'm going to
halfway
investigate it
there.
and see if it can help me find my way around this place.
Why was there just a massive drop there, and how am I still alive?
I can't decipher this, Emma. The language is like nothing.
You
I've
can't
ever
decipher
seen.
that? No way.
There are some things I can make out in illustration. Like, it seems to be a physical transportation machine. An elevator or monorail that ascends. It's hard to understand. It's connected to the three doorways by these large cables. I wonder if it's something that can be powered, taking us towards the beacon.
Could it be an elevator? I have no idea. It's like the animation is telling me it's an elevator of some sort.
But whatever it was, it seems to have turned this machine on and it's opened one of the doors.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to follow this cable and find out what this machine does.
Be careful, Millie.
Cable. More like tube cable thing. I don't know. I'm a little disappointed that no one else after Portal tried to make a Portal type game again. I mean, I guess they did try, but no one ever succeeded at it. Even Valve didn't really succeed at making another Portal. I mean, they tried with their little
Emma, can you read
demo
me?
type games,
I can. The signal's a lot better now.
like that VR Hands game, but they never really succeeded at
Looks like
making
a power reactor.
the same kind of comedy,
Power it? Is it safe?
same kind of funny comedy that Portal had,
It certainly does something.
as opposed to not funny comedy.
Connected to it via cables. One of them seems accessible.
That one's the only one that's on.
It's also locked, so it doesn't seem like I have much choice.
Okay.
Thanks for spelling it up. Thanks for literally spelling it all out to me, dialogue.
Or a way to open these other rooms.
Got it.
You don't have to spell everything out to me, dialogue. You can just let me explore on my own a bit. They could have learned a little lesson from Half-Life in that regard. Half-Life very much wants you to just solve things on your own. Sometimes learning entire game mechanics on your own, but hey. Sometimes it's better.
Looks like these cables lead through to 4 rooms. I'm gonna follow them, see if they connect to anything that can help power that central machine.
Good idea. Let me know if you find anything useful.
Uh-huh. Very basic of basic puzzles. But what's the not basic puzzle? Do I have to stay on this, or will it stay activated? That one stays activated, so really basic puzzles. It's more basic than I thought it was. That was just... Why even have that room? Don't have little jumps like that and then rooms like that. Have actual puzzles, please. You don't have to put in redundant puzzles just because you think there should be more gameplay. Because sometimes there just really does not need to be more gameplay. You just need, I mean, like, not redundant gameplay. There needs to be more gameplay, but more good gameplay. Like this room, you have an actual whole room to explore and figure out what things do. Get Q.U.B.E on there so I can launch myself over there. Again, a puzzle that seemed complicated, but then turned out to not be complicated. Ta-da! Don't we feel clever today? I get that these are basic puzzles, but they could be less basic. Red, green. Redundant gameplay we have right there. This is an entirely redundant room. You just jump onto there, and then you climb up to here, and that's the entire room. And how many gigabytes does this room take up? These are precious gigabytes, man. You have to save them up whenever you can. But anyway, talk about game design aside. Yep, red thing. No, no. No! Why? You failed me! That opens that staircase, which we do not need right now. We just need that there and that there. And then me here. But thankfully we already solved that. And that's a permanent thing right there, so we can just redo this one. And have this be done. 2-part puzzle. Puzzling in parts of 2. More traversal. But will the traversal be part of a puzzle? Or will it just be traversal? Of course, a massive fan just lifts you up because game mechanics, video game mechanics, you could say, for video games. And you, seemingly, the more height you get off of here, the more height you get off of the fan. I will demonstrate. More height off of here, and thus more height off of the fan. Ta-da! And now you have many, many fans, but oh no, they're blowing at you. So how do you stop them from blowing at you? Easy. Red. Just make red. I wonder if we'll ever get the ability to make multiple of each color. That would be a neat ability. By the way, I have the DLC for this game. I got the season pass at some point, whenever I got this game. So expect many, many, many videos on this. That is if it takes me a super long time to get through all this, which it might not, but it might. I am sighing. I sigh at you. You give me a puzzle solution that I already solved, by the way, just to traverse another redundant room. So many redundant rooms. I wonder how many functional rooms there are compared to redundant rooms. There's something for someone to calculate out there. Just not for me to calculate. Whoa! What's that? What's that do? Does it do that? It does that. Oh! Okay. Okay. So I guess you put it all the way over there and then you just have to time it correctly. Basic timing puzzle. Ta-da! Timing puzzle solved, and now they give us the bigger puzzle. So that's like a bridge or something. Maybe there will be a bridge. No, there's a fan. That's how we'll get over there. So we need a cube or something. Or, I don't think we need a cube. We need a cube to do something, but not to be on this button. We need it to be on that button so that the fan can go. But how do we do that? Here's an idea. And it worked. Ta-da! First try. Puzzle solved on the first attempt. If you could call it an attempt. It's really just how fast your brain can think of it. How many solutions can your brain think up at once? That's part of what's going on in these puzzles. In these puzzle games.
Cable is connected to a terminal.
Power a reactor, it says. The achievement says.
Back to that reactor and unlocks the other doors in this room. I'm going to check it out and follow the other cables attached to the reactor.
More redundant information just saying we're gonna keep puzzling, and that door that reactor I just touched powered the door, and now I can go through it. lots of redundancies in this game, it seems, which is really odd. Lots of really weird redundancies. Weird and odd redundancies. Like saying redundancies so many times in a row. I feel like I have to get myself over there. So Q.U.B.E launch there, and then me launch there, except red. I need red over here. So that I can actually get over there. So you get away. And then come back. Now. What? Red? Why did you do this to me, Red? Yep. And then you just jump, and then I guess you count as a block too. As in as in something that can open that door, but I guess also not. You also do not count as that. So now the solution is slightly different. I need to open it with a block cube, and then open it with the other cube. What? Thanks, Red. Thanks for that one, Red. Red thing. That is not what I wanted you to do, but I guess that actually does work. Because the fan can make it go onto that block. Once I remove the red, that is. Like here. Ta-da! And then you just have to redo this puzzle thing, but not yet. Don't do that yet. I say to myself. But I also say to you, I suppose. Now launch! Launch like lunch. Like bad lunch. Redundant jumps, yay! That's it, that was the whole puzzle. One room, one singular room. That was a nice little puzzle. But how much backtracking will there be now that the puzzle is over? None! None backtracking, pretty much. How do get up here? Here how? I wonder just how many puzzles are in this game. Because there are like 16 chapters or so, and we're on chapter 5. And now they're starting to give us lots of puzzles. So that... Ha, ha, what? Yep. Da-da-da. And now I can go over there too. Except for that. This time don't get rid of the cube. Cube person, aka me. Me, don't get rid of the cube, me. We can just place blue elsewhere. And then make us go Wii-U. Wii-U as in Wii U. As in the game console that failed. We have this thingy that goes that away. And then we have that thingy to make a cube on it. And then we have a jump! And then we have the fans that we don't want to have. So that's blocking there, and once I pass it, I just put red over here. And then the puzzle's solved yet again. More puzzles to solve. Ta-da! One of the DLCs says that it's the Aftermath DLC, and it looks like you might return to the, like, base, the space base in Q.U.B.E 1, like several years later or something like that. They should make Q.U.B.E 3 already. It's been, I think, 7 years since Q.U.B.E 2, so they should make Q.U.B.E 3. Because it's been longer than it took for them to make Q.U.B.E 2, but then again they had the remake in between. So let's say they have a good 2 more years to make Q.U.B.E 3. Let's say that. Before we can just forget about the whole Q.U.B.E franchise. So that's moving. It's moving around, moving here and there. And so is that kind of. It's kind of moving. I suppose it's moving. So you do the obvious steps first. And that did not bring it in. Obviously you want this up against that so that this can move it around. And then you can get up there. But you can't do that as far as it seems. Oh, it's a conveyor belt. Okay. I did not know it was a conveyor belt. So you could just do that and have the cube be its own source for energy, and then send the cube across there with the cube. Use the cube to get the cube. How clever of them to have thought of this puzzle. You know what's a weird thing? Is that we think that we're clever for solving puzzles like this, but really, other people had to make these puzzles. So aren't they the clever ones for thinking up the puzzles? It's food for your brain place to think of. There's another puzzle defeated by brain power.
I think whatever you're doing in there is having an effect on the greater structure.
So it's a good thing. This reactor seems to be fully powered and is sending something back to that machine. I'm gonna check it out.
I don't like how often they have these huge, like, gaps, or rather cliffs for me to fall off of. Because it means that there's more time watching the superhero landing animation, and the superhero landing animation just makes it so that there's less time in the actual game. Like, it takes a few seconds and accomplishes nothing but an animation pretty much. And Portal got around that by having long fall boots, which means that you can pretty much just land anywhere and have animations that don't interrupt the gameplay. But in this game we don't have feet, so we don't really know why we're surviving super huge falls like that fall up there, which is ridiculous.
And another door connected to it has opened. How fascinating.
Okay,
Door?
I trust your judgment.
Where?
Let's see if it actually works as you think when all thirds are powered.
Perhaps that door. Because it has the cube symbol in it. Perhaps the door with the cube symbol has been opened by the cube. No way! How did you ever come to that conclusion, sir? Human sir? Or human ma'am, is it? Human madam? Human missus? There are more words for misses, for ladies, to address ladies than there are to address men, I think. Like, you have lady, Mrs., madam, ma'am.
Another reactor. Let's get this thing powered.
Yes, I understand the goal. I understand the goal is to get the thing powered. I understand. You have an elevator to take me down, it seems, but what is the purpose of the elevator? No gameplay purpose. Zero gameplay purpose in waiting for that elevator. I think this game was on PS4 and 8th generation stuff, so maybe that's like the purpose in having all these elevators all around. Is just to have better load stuff happening. You know what I mean, load stuff happening. That's weird physics on that thing, but I guess it works. You can launch yourself off of it. And we know this because we attempt things. We don't just not attempt things like a fool. We attempt things like a smarticle particle. So it's odd. It's like you start falling off of it, and then you do a little wall jump off of it. And then somehow you're not fallen anymore. Not fallen, but also not falling. Because you know there's two different words. There's fall in with an E-in, and there's fall-ing with an I-N-G. And then there's fall in with an I-N. So what this do? This do that. And that do what do that do? This do that. It seems like these puzzles are more about doing physics stuff than about doing other type stuff. What? Can't do that. So that just brings that up. But how do we get me over there? Oh. Of course, I saw that, but not that up there. Always make sure you know your puzzle surroundings before you start puzzling with your surroundings. No, 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 no. The other button. The other button. Sir. Sir, madam. Madam, sir. And then while that's flying, we can just platform over here and make ourselves a little bridge. Getting around town. That was neat how they used that one flipper thing for like 3 different purposes. That's a very well designed puzzle right there.
So many things are running through my mind. I mean, you were sent to destroy that extraterrestrial object, right?
I was, as were many.
So, how did we develop this manipulation technology?
We tracked the vessel for years, since it entered the solar system, intercepting signals from it, decoding them. We learned about its structure, but not its host.
And you use this data to what? Develop this technology I'm wearing?
It was going to kill everyone on Earth, really. It was an invasion.
Sorry. I just need to orient myself. That's all. You've got to admit this situation is somewhat out of the ordinary.
I know. This journey...
What a strange situation we've been placed in. I'm not a fan of this dialogue so far, or how it's delivered. Oh. Look at that. Bad texture, yay! We like bad textures around here. Don't we, sir? Don't we, Sir Batman, sir? Seems to be a very large but very simple room. Just make 2 little jumps, 2 big huge little jumps, and then the whole room is over. And then that's it, that's the whole room. But oh no, we can bend something 3 times in a row. How will we ever solve this? By jumping on it, that's how. Uh-huh. But now how? Ni hao now how? Must take in all of the puzzle scenery. Oh! Well, that almost worked. It almost kind of worked. So we do that. Ta-da! And now we can get up even higher. And then use that to launch ourselves instead. Oh! How did... What? That is surely not how that was supposed to be solved. Yeah, that was not. We were supposed to, like, go over there and then jump across here. But somehow we got launched on top of there. So thanks, game. Literally, thank you. Thank you very much. You made the puzzle much simpler for me, the puzzle solver, Masterman.
No, I don't think it's humane to knock her away. She needs medical attention. And she needs to be looked after. You don't know what you're dealing with, James. So just do me a favor and drop the management bullshit.
It seems like the aliens are either mimicking speech or, like, trying to figure out how to take care of us the right way. So that's interesting. Either way, that's interesting. You know, someone could have crawled up here, because there was a little gap in that. So someone could have crawled their way up here, if they were like a wall climber. Thanks, superhero landing. Takes like 5 seconds to superhero land and get out of the animation. So now we have multiple puzzles we could solve, but I'm just going around town, like Mr. SpongeBob. Going around town. And then red. We like our red around here. But what goes on top of red? And how go on top of there? Green. And then get that down here. And then go on top. Ta! That's not correct, but that's correct, isn't it? Isn't it correct? If not, then I may correct myself. Haha! And then you get the green on top of there, and then... Oh. I see. You get the green on top of there. And then you launch the green over. Green over, green over. You know, like Red Clover, was it Red Rover? Red Rover, not Red Clover, Red Rover. But what is a rover and why is it red? Is it strawberry? Puzzle number 70. I think there are 5 chapters per act in the game, and there are like 5 acts. But then it's like, well, wait a minute, why are there 16 chapters? Because there's like 4 chapters in one act and 2 chapters in another. So cube on there, of course. Of course we've put the cube on there. Of course, it's obvious. It's obvious, of course. Then we get up here, jump on there, get flung. Lots of getting flung nowadays. These kids in there flinging. Okay, that momentum is weirder than I thought. It slowly flings you all the way up, and then right at the end, it gives you a huge boost of momentum forwards. As if it flung you quickly, but it doesn't fling you quickly. So it's just really odd to see. Not Odyssey, odd to see. You see. icy, odd to see. No, 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 no! 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 You fool! Me fool! Me the fool. Bring it over and then do the flingy thingy. And then just jump over here. We're jumping these days. Oh, but wait. How? I know how. Do not worry about how. I know how. I think I know how, at least. I might not know how. How do get Q.U.B.E on there and also get me in there? That is the question. That's the quest and the question. That could be an adventure book, The Quest and the Question. Huh. It seems like I have to have this be over here. Yeah, I do. Instead of getting this green thing over here while I'm here, I need to jump onto that. Yes, I need to jump onto that while I'm... I need to do this. I need to do what I'm doing right now. Words are hard sometimes, but just follow what I'm doing right now, and then you'll get it. Basically, instead of being over there and launch it over there while I'm over there, I have to jump over here and then get up there and launch the cube and then jump on here and then do this. Ta-da. That's a nice amount of complexity there. Thank you very much, video game, for being a video game. But how long will it be a video game? Will it be forever? Hopefully all the, like, big dialogue hallways are not that prevalent in the game. And hopefully it's more testing than anything, because that's why we like these games, isn't it? For all the testing. I mean, the neat dialogue really drives you in to Portal 2, but it's really the testing that makes you like the gameplay part of the game. Know what I mean? Mr. Jellybean. So really it's the gameplay of Portal that makes you stay, and not the dialogue, because the dialogue could be perfect, and it might just be perfect, but if it had just the dialogue and no gameplay, or rather bad gameplay, then it's like, well, why am I playing this? Know what I mean? Thankfully, Portal has good dialogue and good gameplay, and music too. It's all three in one. So that's those things, but what did those things do? They might just all open the doorway once I'm there. I think it opened the stairs, but now I need to open that, which should be easy enough. I say that. That is what I say. Get Q.U.B.E there, and then bounce again. Ta-da! It was easy. It was super easy. It was so easy you could barely see it. It was that easy. Imagine something really being that easy. That would be funny.
Do you think this whole structure is some
Funny,
kind of
haha.
machine?
Haha, funny.
I don't know. The object that was going to collide with Earth. We thought it was a vessel, but after being on it, it was totally empty. Like it was a self-sufficient machine.
I guess we'll find out soon enough when the last third is powered. I hope this works.
Me too, Millie.
Yes, perhaps we will find something, or perhaps we will just find more machine life form. Because alien technology. Alien. It doesn't have to have a living person on it anymore, I suppose. Perhaps these aliens are like thousands of years old and they just left this technology floating in space as like
One more reactor to power.
a litter. Literally aliens littering. That could be what this whole facility is. Like they used to make huge structures like this and then they just left them as litter. Just out there in the universe. And then eventually these litter structures just ran into us. Maybe it's something like that. And now we're just solving all this stuff for some reason. You know, Portal does a really good job at making up reasons for why you're testing. It's like you're in a science initiative trying to pretty much collect data on different Portal things, Portal type science tests. And that's why they're puzzles. But why are these puzzles in this game? Who's trying to test me on things, and what are they trying to test me on? Talos Principle also has good reasons for why you're puzzling stuff.
Last one.
Pretty much just you're an AI robot, and they're trying to train you on stuff. And that's the whole reason for the Talos Principle. But Talos Principle looks very janky. Anyway, enough about other puzzle games. Magnet returns, except now you can have like pull magnet and reverse magnet, it would seem. Oh, and it's like only for that area, that one little area, instead of being like the whole room is a magnet. So bring it there, and then repel it. That's neat. That's a neat and different way to use magnets. You pull and repel, just like what a real magnet does. Ta-da! To-do, ta-da! So you bring it in, so that I can stand on it, and then you repel it. You repel it. You repel it. It looks like the daylight outside has changed. To maybe be like a later afternoon, maybe. So maybe eventually it'll be nighttime out there. If we puzzle long enough. If we're puzzling for long enough. Like a puzzling person. Like a puzzling person, we puzzle personally. So red, because that pretty much launches the cube and we want it to be right there. And I guess we go down with it. We go down with the ship, the boat, the vessel, the human vessel. More launching stuff, and then relaunching it, and then launching it again launching it. But that makes it go real high, but we have to get to that pretty much, but I'm figuring out how to do it as we go. So we do that, and then we turn that. We turn that, and then we turn that. If it'll let me, that is. If it'll let me. Just let me. And then that moves, because that's a permanent switch right there. And now we can get all this reconfigured and all moved around and shaken up. And I can jump on it. Me, not you, me. Because I'm the one playing. Or am I? It seems like the game played me. But that seems to be the right thing to have it on. Because then we can, instead of doing the 2 flings, we can just do 1 fling with both of these things. And gain more upward momentum. Oh, I guess I'm here now. So, cube. Cube, let me cube you. And then we bring that over there, but how? Ni hao. That's how. I suppose I could jump on it and then gain momentum that way. Thanks for having the greatest of realistic physics in gaming. Oh, I thought that would move differently. So if that is over there, then that is open. So that might be where I'm trying to get to. Or is it? So we want that to be a repeller, because then we can just fling that over there. And then, I'm not too sure, but I think we want this to be on here, because then we can move that over here and then have this be pressed down. And I can just get over here through this way or not. Thanks, video games, for being video games and fun video games. Like that. Ha 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 ha. Hee 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 hee. I suppose this works too, because you can bring that over and it'll just suck it in. And now we can get to the real exit. If it'll let me exit. Oh, wait. I thought we might have to do all that again, but no. We can just use a platform. Because that's what these mechanics were given to me for.
Who were they?
Talking hallway, ha ha ha.
Military personnel that we sent.
Why did they send individuals? Why not teams?
To increase our chances.
Basic geometry over there.
Parts of the vessel.
You can see where the level of detail ends.
Yes. Some people
Actual wall,
tests.
just geometry wall.
Caution were fine, of course. It was difficult to predict.
Is that what happened to me? I mean, how long have I been out for?
I don't know how long we've both been asleep, Millie. And yes, it's possible. Hopefully your memories will come back.
Well, we're at an hour already, so I suppose that's a good place to end it, is on a super complex puzzle that might not be that complex going forward. Or rather, going on to next time, and next time we will solve this. I'm not solving it now, even though it may look like I'm solving it. I'm not solving it now. You can't make me solve it. Right now, that is. I'll solve it later, though.